So what happens when the two biggest, most powerful forces in the U.S. economy decide to go head-to-head? Well, we're going to break down the chaotic week that pitted big tech against the Federal Reserve, and, more importantly, what it means for the future of our economy. Let's dive in.
In late January 2026, we found out. And boy did we. It was a week that put the biggest technology companies in the world on a collision course with the most powerful financial body in the country, and it basically set the tone for the entire year. So in this explainer, we're going to walk you through that really critical 48-hour period, slide by slide. You'll see exactly what went down when big tech faced its biggest test in years, right as the ultimate economic umpire made a call that completely changed the game. All right, so who exactly are we talking about here? Who are these two giants on a collision course? Let's break down the key players in this high-stakes showdown. Okay, on one side, you've got the tech titans. You know, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, the whole crew. For the last few years, this handful of companies has absolutely dominated the stock market. I mean, they've become more valuable than the entire economies of most countries.
And on the other side, you have the Federal Reserve, or, as everyone calls them, the Fed. Now, think of it this way. If the economy is a car, the Fed has its hands on the gas pedal and the brake. Their decisions control how expensive it is for anyone to borrow money, from a massive company like Apple all the way down to you buying a new car.
Let's start with big tech, because after years and years of just unbelievable growth, they were heading into their most important test in a very long time. The market even had a name for it, the cycle of accountability.
You see, for the last 2 years, we've been in this thing called the AI gold rush. And it was ridiculously simple. A tech company would just have to say the letters A and I, and investors would throw billions of dollars at their stock, sending prices to the moon. The promise of the future was all that mattered.
And the scale of this gold rush, I mean, it's just staggering. Companies were spending an unbelievable amount of money to build out this AI-powered future. Just look at Meta, Facebook and Instagram. They spent over $70 billion in a single year just on things like computer chips and data centers.
But by 2026, the party was over. The promise of AI just wasn't enough anymore. Investors started asking a very simple and very tough question. Hey, you've spent all this money, you've built the tech, so when are you going to actually show us the profits?
What's so fascinating here is that each company was facing its own unique final exam. For a company like Meta, it was all about proving its AI could handle Europe's tough new privacy rules without killing their ad sales. For Tesla, the big challenge was to make more profit on each car, not just sell more of them. And Microsoft? Well, they had to prove that their AI assistant, Copilot, was a real moneymaker and not just some cool, fancy feature. And get this, at the exact same time all this tech drama was unfolding, the economy's head referee, the Fed, was stepping onto the field to make its own huge call.
So, the Fed's main tool is actually pretty simple. It's interest rates. When they want to cool down the economy to fight rising prices, they raise rates. That makes it more expensive for everyone to borrow money. And when they want to speed things up, they cut rates. Easy enough, right?
Well, heading into their big meeting on January 28th, the market was basically positive. It knew what was going to happen. A whopping 98% of investors were betting that the Fed would do absolutely nothing. The overwhelming consensus was that they'd just hold rates steady and wait and see.
And that's exactly what happened. The Fed decided to hit pause. With a pretty strong economy and prices still a little on the high side, they kept interest rates right where they were. And that decision, well, it basically took the referee off the field and put all the pressure right back on big tech's shoulders to perform. So you've got this perfect storm, right? Big tech's final exam happening at the exact moment the Fed steps back. That created this huge wave of uncertainty. And you know what happens when investors get uncertain? They start moving their money fast.
For months, the most popular, no-brainer bet on Wall Street was to just buy the Magnificent Seven. But in the run-up to this week, that trade's popularity was sliced nearly in half. Investors started yanking their money out of big tech and spreading it around to a much wider range of other big companies.
And where else did that money go? Well, into classic safe investments. Gold is kind of like the financial world's emergency bunker. And during this week of high anxiety, its price shot up to a record high of almost $5,000 an ounce.
And it wasn't just the Fed and big tech making everyone nervous. You had all this other stuff piling on. New tensions in the Middle East, some crazy weather in the US that made energy prices soar, and new rules for AI coming out of Europe. It all just added to this feeling that the ground was shifting under everyone's feet.
So, after all that chaos, what's the big takeaway? Why does this single 48-hour period actually matter for the rest of the year and, for you?
Here's the bottom line, and it's a big one. The era of blind faith is over. The days when a tech company could just promise some amazing AI-powered future and watch its stock go through the roof, yeah, those days are gone. The market isn't buying dreams anymore, it's demanding results. You can really think about this whole story in 3 acts. First, there was the hype, when companies promised AI would change everything. Then came the spending, billions and billions invested to build it. And now we are firmly in Act 3, the proof. It's not about what AI could do anymore. It's all about what it actually does to help businesses and make money.
And that leaves us with the biggest question for 2026. The AI gold rush made a lot of winners, sure, but the real test is just starting. The results from this one chaotic week are going to help decide which of these tech giants are truly built to last and which ones were just along for the hype. The age of accountability is officially here.